Okay, let's just dive right into the chaotic, deeply personal, and, let's be honest, often humiliating world of Fyodor Dostoevsky's novel, The Adolescent. We're getting straight to the heart of the story, which really all kicks off with this single burning obsession in the mind of our young narrator, Arkady. And this one sentence, it's pretty much the key to his entire identity crisis. This isn't just a name for him, it's a source of shame he has to deal with every single day. It's the engine for literally everything that's about to happen.
So, to really get a handle on our guy Arkady, we first have to understand the humiliation he feels constantly because of his name. And this isn't just, some teenage angst. It's this deep social wound that pretty much defines who he is.
So here's the deal, right? He's got this super fancy, noble-sounding name, one of Russia's most famous, in fact, but he's actually the son of a former serf. He has the sound of nobility without any of the status, and that gap, that space between what people hear and what's real, is a constant, nagging source of torment for him. And he even breaks it down, like this four-step dance of total humiliation he has to go through with pretty much everyone he meets. You can just feel how much that last part stings, that little deflating clarification. No, just Dolgoruky. It just reduces him in his own mind every single time. But here's where it gets really interesting. That shame, it doesn't just sit there. It starts to curdle into this defiant, almost self-destructive kind of pride. To avoid the sting of his name, he lashes out with an even bigger, more scandalous secret, his own illegitimacy. It's a really desperate power move when you think about it. And that, right there, that defiant outburst, it points us straight to the guy at the absolute center of Arkady's obsession, his biological father, a mysterious and frankly very complicated nobleman named Versilov. You gotta understand, for 20 years, Arkady has been spinning these wild fantasies about the father he barely even knows. Versilov has been this mythic figure, more of an idea than a person. But now, he's summoned Arkady to St. Petersburg, and that fantasy is about to have a head-on collision with reality. And boom! The collision of myth and reality, it's all laid out for us here. The shining, powerful father figure from Arkady's dreams, he's gone. In his place is this complex, fallen man who's barely scraping by. He's a social outcast, and he's haunted by this scandal over a duel he refused to fight. Versilov is a total and complete enigma. Okay, so to really wrap our heads around why Arkady is the way he is, we've got to look at his family. And it's a tangled one. It's a huge part of this whole psychological puzzle. So what this all boils down to is that Arkady basically has two dads. You've got Versilov, the disgraced nobleman, who's his biological father, and then you have Arkady Dolgoruky, the pious former serf who is married to his mother, gave him that shameful name, and now just wanders around Russia as a religious pilgrim. And his mother, a former serf herself, is stuck right in the middle of these two worlds. But here's the thing, Arkady isn't just showing up to be a victim of his circumstances. Oh no. He doesn't arrive in St. Petersburg empty-handed. He comes armed with a secret weapon, something he's been working on for years. See, for years, all alone in his childhood, he's been cooking up this secret philosophy, this master plan for his life, that he calls his idea. It's his way of grabbing some power and independence in a world that has only ever made him feel totally powerless. But it's not just some abstract idea in his head. No. He has a physical thing, a document, a secret he believes gives him absolute power over Versilov, the very same father who ignored him for 2 decades. This isn't just about an idea anymore. This is about leverage. So all of this, it's the perfect setup for the central drama of the whole novel. This tense psychological showdown between a son who feels deeply wronged and a father who is still a complete mystery. So Arkady's mission, in his mind at least, is crystal clear. He's not there for a hug. He's not looking for a tearful reunion. He has come to St. Petersburg to act as a judge, to finally solve the puzzle of who Versilov is and decide, once and for all, what to do with him.
And that's the killer question Dostoevsky just leaves hanging in the air right from the get-go. It frames the whole novel as this desperate search for truth in a world of shame and secrets. A search that feels, honestly, incredibly modern. It's about how you build an identity when your family is this complicated, when your place in the world feels like a lie, and when you have to decide whether you're going to forgive the past or just burn it all down.